the good things. With a wiki, the Mr. Bridge, flyover 1, flyover 2, flyover 3, with over 400 billion naira of River State. That's the one they know. Over 420 billion naira of River State money stolen. And more than 6 people killed in a supposed election where people wanted to choose their own leader in River State. Is that a good thing? Or that of Devulumayi? Or which of them again? Who is there? There is one in charge of police, Gaidam, from Yobe. Are the life of the people of Yobe better? What is he talking about? But he knows what he is talking about. He wants you to forget all of that. Again.
Like we're commanding them. And we're saying, this is what you do. You'll see those ministers that have been chosen in the cabinet, they are not new people that have never done anything. If you look at them one by one, you'll see the good things they've done, either as state governments in the past, state governors rather, or as other ministers. And they are being, I would say, carefully chosen. If we support them, if we are not, criticizing every step and they don't know where to stand, if we accept them and we believe that God will work through them, He'll use them as instruments to build our nation, let's forget the past. This is a new day. And I believe, and we all believe, we're going to see new things for our country through our...
No. He believes that he's going to probably build another university or another private school or open more branches. That one is guaranteed as long as his friends are allowing, they continue to allow him to keep 100% of illicit money that they stifle out of the people and as well from the criminals. So he's sure of that. His children live abroad, they school abroad, all right? Meanwhile, the church, okay, I told you I won't go into your church anymore, but it's a fraud to people like us. And when they pass their boundary and jump into politics to expose that their fraudulent way of life, and then they mask it in the way of, I am just advising them, Nick. Keep advising Baboshi. You know what I mean? You and your whatever God or whatever thing you are kind of brandishing about, with all of them. Because we know the implication of all of this is that, more people will be seeking for spiritual help. Nigeria problem is not spiritual. Nigeria problem is human, man-made, and we know them. So when you see old people coming around to say, there is no sainty, sometimes it just makes you feel like you want to puke, like you want to vomit. And say, whose papa be this one? Who are these? Who are the children of all these useless people parading themselves as old men and women? Entitled, what do you call them? This entitled, waste of space. One of them was on TV recently, and he was talking about, it is true that if he was a drug dealer, that was then. Let everybody just forget and move on. I told you, the tribunal judge, Samani Abikilorukoe, Samani, the presidential tribunal judge, on the day of the final written submission or whatever in tribunal, now the judge can't they ask PDP lawyer, can't you, did our Lord and Savior not teach us to forgive and forget people's transgressions? That can't you just forgive all of these things about Tifnubu's drug, all these things about Tifnubu's crimes and the rest of them? Like, do you not have spirit of forgiveness? Now, judge, they ask lawyer that is bringing evidence against the criminal, ex-Kobati. Now, the judge, they say, you don't get forgiving spirit in it. Now, that one you they expect judgment from, Abi. Now, that's one you they expect real judgment from. I will be here because they've already unleashed these guys. Kumuyi is the first one. You're going to hear from another pastor soon. You're going to hear from another imam. Then the next thing, you're going to start hearing from people that they are called the elder statesmen. That time, when you begin to hear from them, all of them telling you that for the sake of Nigeria, let everybody come together. For the sake of the progress of Nigeria, let everybody give them the chance. All the nonsense like that, you begin to hear them soon. The people that once you hear say, Sultan of Sokoto says, Abaye Sultan of Sokoto fetani. You know what I mean? Like, they will begin to say things now concerning, then you will know the judgment day is very close. The tribunal is about to give its judgment. Once you begin to hear Sultan of Sokoto, Emir of Ilorin, Oba of Benin, Kiniko Obi of Onisha, Oni of Ife. Once they begin to talk, once you begin to hear some elder statements, some old relics like that too, they will begin to crawl out from whatever shanty they are currently hiding from, whatever old they are hiding in right now. In the next few days, you begin to hear them like this Kumuyi. They begin to tell you about how Nigeria, just know that a judgment day is very close. The tribunal is about to deliver the judgment. They want the rest of you to start blaming yourself if anything go wrong. They want you to start looking at yourself like maybe you are the one who is mad. Abi na me mad ni. Abi I dey read the judgment said abi shey emi na only me ni. And then you begin to see people, because all they have to do is to plant that doubt in your mind. Okay? The judgment is going to go this way. And when it goes that way, for the sake of Nigeria and our people, don't listen to anybody who is telling you the judgment is not true. Don't shake kiniko. God Almighty has said. They'll begin to plant all those things in your brain in the next few days. Sure you get. But like somebody said, because they are not being honest. It is better for them to keep quiet instead of them to come public and begin to play with our mind, begin to play with our intelligence. And the humbled slaves, sophisticated morons, the crumb eaters, chasers, ass lickers, and then all risers, who are already kind of subjugated and already enslaved. 21st century slavery is not in chains. Now their brain, they don't cover around with pangolo. I mean, what do you call it? With agada and godo. Oh my God, don't agada and godo. Padlock. You know what is called agada and godo? Agada and godo. Agada godo. The 21st century slavery is not seeing people in chains. All of them chains. Cover mouth with what do you call it? So that you know go chop the plantation cane, sugar cane. No. The whole 21st century slavery is here. Now here they lock. Some people they lock their brain with religion. Some they lock their brain with the fear of waiting I go do, because I know if I to help me, I know if I to I'm a disabled. Majority of them are mentally disabled. They have no mindset of their own. They are already there, enslaved. Happy slave. There's nothing worse than happy slave. I read that somewhere. I could have saved more slaves only if a lot of them knows that they are slaves. Do you understand that phrase? Harriet Truman, woman. I could have saved more slaves only if they knew they were slaves. Because the 21st century slavery is no longer in chains. Mental slavery. Ladies and gentlemen. Mayegun. Mayegun, wash your mouth. You just spoke about Adeboye like that. Mayegun, I fear who no fear you. You this Mayegun, this and that. Mental slavery. Happy slave, they say there's nothing worse than happy slave who doesn't know he is a slave. Ladies and gentlemen, don't come here and begin to try to finger our brain simply because you have so many dates in your head, like a calendar. If you are too proud of the date in your head, well, thank God for smartphone. You see this smartphone, it has the what do you call it? The oldest age ever in history. The calendar from the day of calendar, where they don't keep date. Oh, ledagaju calendar loke koshidanu. Keep your old age that has kept us enslaved. Respect if you don't respect respect my white hair. Omo, look at my baby. White hair, they dear. White hair no mean say you get sense. White hair no mean say because you grow old, you get sense. Foolish people, they grow old too. Stop insulting us and demanding respect. You don't come around and begin to finger our brain with all this wise man. What wise man once said, who are the wise men? All these old people, useless people.
Issues, or at least issues that question integrity. Shouldn't the electorate still think these are issues as well?
Well, there are issues in order to make personal choice. But we're not in heaven. We must also appreciate that. We are in the world, and it will be presumptuous because the tendency of utopian aspiration, at the end of it, it achieves very little. If you study the history of uprisings in the world, if you look at, for example, the Arab Spring, what has happened, people say, oh, okay, yes, most of it is because of reaction to poverty, reaction to corruption, and so on and so forth. But only sinful men will bring a society, will raise the society, because the problem of the society are the sins, and they understand the value of those sins and the effect.
Please say that again. Only sinful
men will raise the society from sin, because they understand what the effect of the sin, the consequences, the structure of sin, and how to manage them. If you are looking for holy men, you are not going to achieve a whole lot. If you look at the history of the world, that's just the reality. So in our nation...
But my apologies, sir.
Yes.
Is that to say that those integrity issues do not matter, particularly if one way or the other, they do not line up with the aspirations of Section 23 of the Constitution?
Well, no, integrity issue matter, but it's to a certain extent. The Constitution speaks of against corruption, against this, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Obviously, we'll deal with that. But to expect that personal holiness of candidate, a man that has gone through the structure of life in this nation, a nation, anywhere in the world, for example, you find that politicians are sinners. For example, you cannot run politics, you cannot run office without money. Money.
issues, or at least issues that question integrity.
Now somebody papa be that oh. Now them go they tell us say we no get respect. So if you are like that man listening to me right now, if I am your daughter's fiancé, and your daughter brings me home to introduce me to you and the rest of the family, okay? You are there, your daughter, let's say your daughter, a sort of a graduate, right? Sterling, beautiful and all that, right? Classy, intelligent. You are proud of her, educated, you spent all that money. Then they brought me home. Gang, gang. They say, okay, I want to meet the rest of the family. And then I pull up. Your daughter is there, dangling the $5 million diamond engagement ring I gave to her. Daddy, daddy. Oh, meet Mayegun. Everybody call him Don Mayegun. Just for short, they call him Don. Oh, how are you, Don? Is that short for donut? Ah, no, daddy. It's not donut. They call him Don. He's a drug dealer. Very famous, so very rich, oh daddy. He's going to be my husband. So I said he should come and meet the entire family. In fact, some people said that he's Pablo. Like, you know that, daddy, you remember that narco film? That Pablo Escobar, this thing, Some people said that he's like that Pablo, sir. I love him so much. You as a father, oh yeah, respond. I mean, I am there like, yes, sir. I mean that they call Pablo. But it's not Pablo Escobar, sir. Just Don Pablo. Don Pablo. Sorry, what do you do for a living? I'm a drug dealer, sir. And sometimes I do I do human trafficking as well. Anything that makes money. But permanently, I am a very special drug dealer. You as a father, you respond when integrity doesn't matter. You know what I said about those pastors earlier? They want the worst for Nigeria, but they want the best for themselves. When it comes to their children, they want the best for their children. As much opportunity they can get outside Nigeria. And when their children return back to Nigeria, there are jobs already waiting for them, placement in government positions. Sure you get? But when it comes to Nigerians, they will tell you education is expensive, go easy. Nigeria is a poor country, you cannot fund the education of the poor people. Sure, easy. It's not easy like that. Let us be realistic, okay? Nigeria cannot give free health care to their people now. It's not easy, my brother. Even America, even they know they give free education. They know they give free health care like that. You have to pay But when they need their own medical care to be funded by the public, by church money, by moshalashi money, when they need their special treatment, wherever the money is going to come from, they know where to go to abroad. When their children need education, they know where their choice place is abroad. But when it comes to the education of the poor, government is trying. Let us we should be grateful. Let us be grateful in little thing. Bible said we should be grateful in little thing, so that a big thing can come. Do you think it's easy to rule a country? Education like that. Education is not free. I say, la yenyi. Mani kureke. I mean, you show to ba ranju mo mi, ma ranju mo eni o. And I tell you, say, ni kure ko shamini o. If you are one of them, they ma lo rojo shikon. Oh yeah. But you know what I'm saying? We don't need a saint. As if to say everybody is saying, no, we need sainty. When the criminals have done what they do best, now them go still come out and tell you. Remember Leviticus 13:14. Suratul Ishaya. Go and read Suratul Ishaya verse 13. Oya loka Suratul Kafara. Go and read when you read the book of Gabriel. The book of what was that name again? Bacchus. No, Bacchus is a wine. I think Bacchus is wine. Was wine. Do you still have Bacchus in Nigeria? Red wine. Now all of us were the trenches that time. Now our own red wine be that. When I was growing up, if your mama or your papa come inside us, come with Bacchus. Yee. I say, oh, wow, this will not make count this day. You go just salivate that. So yeah, hey, you take this bottle, go and throw it away. You take the bottle and you like, my papa and my mother, they enjoy you. Red wine. But it's not Bacchus. That's not the one I mean. Go and read the book of Bacchus 25:25. Ibin Pami. You are telling me to read the book of Bacchus. I can't pay the school fees of my children. You are telling me to read Psalm 45. Show le kure bayi. Like normal. Show ole better fun e bayi. Like in the real world, they know what is best for themselves. When they want to hire people for their businesses, they look so critically before they finally say, oh yeah, come and be my driver. Oh yeah, come and be my accountant. Oh yeah, come and be the general of my business. You, oh yeah, come and be the... But when it comes to Nigeria, there is no saint anywhere. There is no saint. You are not looking for, as if to say you are there looking for Pope John Paul II. Abi Pope John Paul I. Abi Benedicta Lungwa. Even Pope John Paul at Benedicta, that they call them sainty. Well, sainty. Or you have a job to do. You don't cover the fraud with the name of God and tell all of us to keep quiet, or else we will offend God. Abi what is kind of the inshi repaponi. So you can't deceive us with old age. You can't deceive us with the religion. You can day your day. If you are old man, you know get sense. Day your day. We don't need your advice. If you are a pastor or imam or anything you call yourself, Baba, day your day. Not they compare them. Once you begin to compare and put them inside politics, you are insulting us. And guess what? We will respond, just like I am doing right now. That old man is talking about saints. When they said all this sin, all this, he said, no. Do you think he didn't know what he's doing? They all know what they are doing. It has always been like that until now. Now they are telling us that we don't get respect. I think that's one of the reasons why these guys are the mumu button of a lot of young people in Nigeria. He knows that they are angry. You can't lie to them in the name of God anymore. If you know what is best for you, just keep your mouth shut. That's the best for you. If you can't say anything, on behalf of the people that come to pray in your business center every Sunday, if you can't tell them the truth, just join them and shop your agbado quietly. Don't come to public and deceive us in the name of God. But you know that Peter Obi, that one understand them very well. You understand that the young people are very angry. Any small thing, you may think they are overreacting. We are not overreacting. In fact, we are underreacting. We haven't even reacted. Sure, you get. But it's a bit the mumu button of the young people by saying, listen, if you have listened to them very well, in fact, you men of God, your own day, your body, stop excusing criminals in Nigeria or excusing crimes in Nigeria based on the criminals that are involved. He said that very well. I think it was during the campaign. Here is another flashback. Obi.
Others are saying, for the peace of Nigeria, remain prayerful, calm, and accept this as God's will. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I'm very respectful to prominent Nigerians, especially church leaders, traditional rulers, and all that. And I remain very respectful to them. And I think they should be respected for what they represent in our society. But I disagree with them. What they're actually preaching is the problem of Nigeria. The problem of Nigeria is accepting wrongdoing, accepting what is unacceptable. That is using God's name in vain. That's not what God said. God said, do not use my name in vain. So what they're saying is not God's wish. It is not God's plan for Nigeria. So why don't we accept that the 133 million Nigerians who are poor is God's wish? Why don't we accept that 95 million Nigerians living in absolute poverty is God's wish? It is God's wish that we don't have electricity. It is God's wish that our children are kidnapped. It is God's wish that we have collapsed primary health care, leading us to be the country with the highest infant mortality. It is everything happening is God's way. Not so what God says. No. God's wish is when you do the right thing. And in the end, it is done. This election was predicated and planned. And we have clear laws about the conduct of the election. If it was followed, if these results were uploaded from the booth, polling units, like they said, to the server and everything, we won't be here, we won't be talking about it. It would have been concluded in a matter of hours without anybody arguing about it. But it is not God's wish that you do the wrong thing. It is not God's wish that you go and rob a train and make money and start sharing it. It is not.
Others are saying for the
I told you, he's the smartest of them all. He knows how to say the right thing at the right time, and he says them in a very perfect way, that in a very believable way, that you can tell that he's not making them up, or it's not like trying to find the ways of hypocritically kind of. No, he says them so kind of purely, something that people should be able to say if they have no connection at all with these criminals. And as for the young people, that is Obi. Somebody said, if Obi opened a church, he will attend the church. Why? Because of his honesty and sincerity. You have other churches in Nigeria today, pastors who are going out telling their audience situation of Nigeria. Listen, they were telling them to pray. They are also telling them, making them know the truth. Wherever civil, whatever their civil obligation is called upon, the church is not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you. Holy Spirit is not holding you. Fight for your civil rights, oh. Fight for your this and that, oh. Educate yourself about what is going on, oh. And the rest of that, oh. Now, these people will do Muslim tickets. They are now labeling those churches, those pastors, as those who are causing religious problem in Nigeria by telling their audience, imagine parọ́ you, kò evil spirit that is disturbing your life. Oh. Now, these criminals. Oh. Policies of government can make or mar your life, destroy your family, destroy your businesses without anything. And you think in a Holy Spirit. No Holy Spirit, no, I mean, no, you think it's na devil. It's not devil, oh, evil spirit, oh, no. The pastors are saying that to their people right now. But guess those happy slaves? These pastors want to cause problem in Nigeria. Instead of them to be telling people to pray. I told you, there is nothing more dangerous than happy slaves. And there are many in Nigeria. The Buhari days, the Buhari Didinis, the Buhari Dinotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ngos Diaris, the Uneka Haris, the ombud slaves, sophisticated morons, the Lagos branch, Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo branch, Oshogbo Alimanjiris, back to Lagos, around Southwest as well. You have the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass slickers, the all-risers. Even abroad, there are those called the Abrodian Buhari, the Buhari idiot, Abrodian Bat idiot. You have the Mumu Madus, you have the Bele lecturers, you have the Mumu lecturers. Even on social media, where sometimes you don't even know their location, mostly back in Nigeria, you have the cyberbarians, you have the social media bandits, you have the Facebook adsmen. These are the conditional slaves, happy slaves that, trust me, when Kolu said this, it was like, oh my God, Albert Einstein, don't drop quotes. Kolu.
Before you say this, even my greatest rival today met me with Yaradua. Atiku Abubakar met me with Yaradua. I was one of the youngest, brilliant strategists of late Shehu Yaradua. He was just out of custom that time. Ask him to go and read the civil service regulation. They asked him questions. How did you make money? He said, from selling cars. Can you, as a civil servant, involve in other trade and businesses? No. You have attracted disqualification. You don't desire to compete with others. Drawing inspiration, I've said that. My political history is full of examples of long, abiding support for the North.
Man, see there for jail. Politician wey in the probe don enter for power. EFCC chairman still there for jail. Politician wey in the probe don enter for power. Ewo, EFCC chairman still there for jail. Politician wey in the probe don enter for power. Ewo, EFCC chairman still there for jail. Politician wey in the probe don enter for power. If you dey do government work, you no carry am for head, you. Maka one day, aga bokwa gike na ma o. In another government, you. Iri ye wayo, nwanne mo, ebukwa ya n'ishi. One day, aga bogike na ma o. Ewo, EFCC chairman, no dey for jail. Politician wey man still dey for jail. Politician wey in the probe don enter for power. EFCC chairman still dey for jail.
Politician wey in the probe don enter for power. Now that woman dance at the dance now. Like that. I wish that could go viral, that dance. It's like, it's very, very sad tale. And you're just there like, you don't even know if you should like say, feel sorry for Nigeria. The thieves who have been investigated by the EFCC, the chairman of that EFCC is in jail, locked up, not charged. The thieves he was investigating, they are now in charge of government. What kind of other sorry state, what kind of sorry story would make your mood become kind of imbalanced? Like, now may you laugh ni, cry ni, scream ni, wail ni, or weep ni. You don't know. You are just there like, see life, like that. That is the story of Nigeria. Is it the will of God that people, 133 million Nigerians, should be living in poverty? Is it the will of God? Is it the will of God that terrorists should be using Nigeria, now Nigerians, for shooting practice? So everybody go this way. Oh yeah, pa. How many? Abu, na dangajiani, dangode, come. How many people you catch? 25. The terrorists are using Nigerians for shooting practice. Is that also the will of God? Do you see where you are insulting us? Do you see why we have the right to be angry? Do you see why you have to tell your pastors, small and big, to shut the hell up? When it comes to the time we know the criminals destroying Nigeria and what they are doing, we don't want them to continue to do the part of brainwashing people by using whatever they do within their corridor of their business centers to hold us down. Is that the will of God? No wonder Betty Edu. Shebi, you know Betty. I'll be better than Betta Edu. Well, Betta Edu is a minister now. She is the one who said they are going to lift 133 million Nigerians out of poverty. Better. Oh, money, better. The new cash madam in town. Better. You can sit down and tell us what you will do with your own 500 billion naira a year. Shadia didn't tell us. But better has another plan. Etilibitin wanting for GPS, equing 5,000. I'll say that one in English. Have you ever seen where they are using GPS to share 5,000 naira? Better, Edu, is bringing that innovation. Go. Want to see office lẹ́yìn lórí. Want to see shop lẹ́yìn lórí. And I'm looking at them like this, and I wish I get that magic wand that can just say, abracadabra. And as all of you go to bed tonight, you go just to see everything where your life, where go happen to Nigeria in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and 4 years. And around that time, you will go to scream from your dream and say, God forbid, God forbid. If I say something to you, you will believe me. Unfortunately, I don't have that power. Unfortunately, I wish I do. I don't. But with better Edu, with GPS, toffing 5,000 naira, Baba, you better go get ready. If you collect Sifnumbu 5,000, GPS go talk say you collect them. If you come on social media and say you don't collect, a better Edu so pé GPS will tell us say you collected. Emma wu àwọn ọgbọ́n sọ̀díkì, ọgbọ́n sọ̀díkì. Ladies and gentlemen.
Real quickly, your first task, part of many other tasks, will be to administer palliatives. What's your take as regards the madness going on with the sharing of the palliative? You can see the conundrum with people being hurt, being pushed around. Some can't even get anything. That's one. Number two, another important task coming up to you will be the $800 million loan that had been released before, that the president wanted to push out to the social register, and he stopped. What's the conversation? Bring us up to speed as regards that money. And what would be your idea as regards pushing that money around?
So I think first, as it concerns the palliatives, we need to rework the logistics. In the past, I have been exposed to programs such as the immunization programs in Cross River State and in other places around the country where we have to take healthcare to people's doorstep, immunize people at their doorstep. I think the aspect of having people come together or come to one particular location to pick up their palliatives is not really very helpful. In my own, of course, for us, we would think that it will be better off to deliver this, improve on the logistics, and deliver it to their doorstep where they live. That way, they can sign off on it, and you are sure that these families have received it. Of course, technology can tell exactly where a person is, where he's delivering, using the GPS and the rest of it to really identify if this has been delivered to this location.
How are you going to do this? How? Because technology is nebulous. How precisely are you going to ensure that they deliver at the doorsteps of people where we don't have accurate numbering system in homes in Nigeria and streets? You can get to the street and have number 21 and number 44 at the back, at the front. So how do we do it? How?
Okay, like I said, it's a GPS thing. It's not just about the numbering. So from the GPS, there are many applications.
So you get, if you don't do scam, or if you don't see, I mean, if they don't scam you before, and you can't catch the scammer, we scam you, and they want to try to explain to you that you are not just, you don't understand. What I'm saying is, they begin to give you different scenario to explain it to you, what they are trying to say. Even when you begin to ask questions like, but we don't get numbering, we don't get electricity. Say, no, listen. I know that we don't have electricity, but you said we are going to need light to say that. Listen. The program is like, we are going to improve on electricity so that you can now have electricity for this project. Do you understand now? Say, okay, but no, I don't understand. All this question you are asking is not necessary. The plan is to scam you. All this one you are asking to explain. That's what we end it. I mean, that would be very honest. For example, if somebody says, if I say, okay, you are going to give food to people in their homes, right? For example, and how would you know who has collected and all of that? How are you going to do the register? How is that GPS going to track them? No, sorry. How are you going to know who has collected? They say, yeah, we have our people. We are going to go to their homes. We are going to make sure that everything is fine. And, but how are you going to do that? Like, so that to keep the record. For example, there is no number. Houses in Nigeria are barely numbered accurately. So how are you going to use the GPS? No. It's technology. Listen. There's some technology that we do mapping. We're going to do mapping. That mapping is going to show you get that poor people here. How are you going to do mapping? Una get satellite? Say, no, you don't understand. What we are trying to do is that technologically, right? Like I said earlier, technologically is to track and make sure that people are healthcare and everything. You are not answering my question. I said, how you go do it? What, Ogbeni, how go? Ambulance in any everything how I've been trying to tell you that would be very sincere of them to say, Baba, no, which one is how? I've been explaining, you are asking how you be ambulance in it. The plan is to scam you. We want to scam you. That's what we want to do. All this explanation, all this thing, no evidence. I don't get any evidence for all this explanation. Are you satisfied now? Say, yes, I am. Thank you, ma. That's much better than for you to be sitting down here and be telling us about technology, about this program, about this and that. And say, that one is better, ma. Just say, we just want to scam you and give some people smart thing and everybody move on. I say, that's fair. That's honesty. We like that. So that a lot of people will not begin to say, avoid the phone number of their family members. Now, Uche, they call me again, so I don't know why they call me. Tinubu map show say in collected there 5,000 naira last week with 2 Congo of rice, 2 Congo of gari, and they give him ororo. Why is he calling me again? And every time he calls, he's always asking for money. When I go to that place, they're saying don't collect 5,000. You know what I mean? Don't give people false hope. All right? Be honest and just say it. We have a not by me. And everybody will leave you alone. Somebody like me will just be like, there will be less cries. A lot of people will not cry and say, Mayegun, can you believe it? Mayegun, do you know that it's a fraud, Sha? Mayegun, that thing you told us, honestly, it's a fraud, though. So you believe them, ni? It's because I just thought that maybe it's true. It was when they now started, I realized that a fraud. I said, yeah. I did my best, too. Going forward. What if Proxenio Prigozhin, what if sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. What that means is that you remember that man where I show you 2 days, I mean, was it yesterday? His name is Yevgeny Prigozhin. I'll show you in picture, in case if you have forgotten his face. You remember this man? The one that was speaking in Niger Republic. Sorry, they said Mali. This place was Mali Desert. I want to paman you. Omo yami, aye nipa o. You see that time when this guy plotted that coup against Putin in Russia, and the breaking news was Putin this, Putin, here you get. Putin has left Moscow. Putin has left Kinikon. And then suddenly they said, okay, it's settled now. They don't settle him. The next thing, they showed him inside the house where Putin was hosting African leaders. You remember that time? They showed him in the house. We thought this man should be in prison. I want to come on. This afternoon, yesterday. This afternoon, they said he was returning back to Russia. And then the private jet that was flying in. For currently, now manifest, they said the manifest for that plane, even the major media have carried it now. They said the manifest for that plane carried his name. It's meant to be on board. 10 people, that's a 7 passenger, 3 crew members, they were inside that plane. Omo, Prigozhin, Boshe, short video. Immediately Prigozhin did that short video inside Mali to tell everybody that they were there and they would defend Africa and Africans and the weather is hot and the rest of all those things they said. About Prigozhin, I'll show you what I saw so that we can all be clear. For now, no one has been sure that he is actually in that plane. But the manifest said it should be in that plane. Okay? Just same way they said he has been arrested during that coup in Russia. Then he showed up later. Some people who have been kind of started to admire him, Prigozhin, Yevgeny, those who have started admiring him, they are praying that the news is going to be fake news. They are praying that maybe Prigozhin missed his flight. A lot of them are hoping that this is going to be like a false news. Others are pointing fingers at Putin. They say KGB to Tishishe again. No, it is like the KGB time or KGB o'clock. For the record, here.
Пиздец, это беспилотник. Сбили, бабахнуло 2 раза, взорвалось, падает. Ты посмотри, падает. Блядь. Где, блядь, бабахнет? Куда упал? Вон тут куски летят. Где-то, блядь, упал. Хуя дым пошел какой. А там он куски летят еще. Смотри, какой клуб поднимается. Пиздец. Меня аж трясет. Охуеть. Где это? Блядь, не видать нихуя. Вон. Около фермы. Горим.
So, Yevgeny Prigozhin, ó digbére o, ó dárìnà kó dojú àlá, ó di anybody about it, you know what I mean? Just master his face in case if he pull it off again and they come back and say he's still alive. So me, I want to go with the fact that he was expected to be in that aircraft, and it got shot down inside Russia, approaching Moscow. Nobody knows who shot it down. Nobody knows if it's kind of a wrong identity or something. Or what do you call it? Like a misfire. You know what I mean? So whatever this is, we'll get to know more in the coming hours or days. And somehow, we'll also get to know what this means for the impending invasion of Niger Republic by the ECOWAS. ECOWAS have already warned Russia to stay away until they said anything that happened, any confrontation that happened in Niger, when they invade Niger, they will blame it on Putin and Russia because of the Wagner group. So what people are now saying is, if this come back to be the truth, that Yevgeny is dead, what does this mean for Wagner group? The Ajagunjeuns. We are talking about, according to what we heard though, we are talking about over 200,000 fighters. So what's going to happen to them? And what is going to happen in Niger? Could this also mean something that we are currently not paying attention to? Is there something bigger that is about to happen as well? And this is just one of them that will kind of make it a bit of a talking point until we all wake up later and realize that something else is going on. It is this crazy world, my brother. For some reason, it is shocking. To some people, it is not. In fact, they've been expecting something similar to this to happen, right? Weeks back. Because in June, when Yevgeny Prigozhin led that, they have a name for it too. When you do mutiny, is that what it's called? Mutiny. They were supposed to be at a base near Ukraine, fighting to defend Russia. But they turned around at a point due to the corruption of the military in Russia. Prigozhin turned around and moved his army and announced to the world that he was headed for Moscow. He created a panic, not even just for the Russians themselves, even for the Western world. They didn't have a clue what it was all and on about until the until that uprising got suppressed and everything just went down. So to some people, there is more to this. And I'm quite going to go with you too. There is always going to be more to this. So, going forward, Atiku Abubakar, that Tifnumbu mentioned in that video I played you earlier, seems to have run into a troubled water in his efforts to further unravel the man called Tifnumbu in a court case in America. Full disclosure, this was supposed to be today, but it seems that the American government are already moving in on this issue. The last time the government of America was dragged to their own court in America because of Tifnumbu, it was the journalist and a law firm in the US that wrote the FBI as well as the court, subpoena them, asking them to release every details or document they have on Tifnumbu. By law, they were supposed to do it. But it is America. A top priority. They argued it out. We couldn't release this now. We can only release all of his criminal record and every other information we have on him. After 2026. 27. That kind of shocked a lot of people, which further kind of made people believe that Tifnubu is an American asset. American asset in Nigeria. And that doesn't sit down well with a lot of people, considering how he actually got into that power. It further made people more suspicious and then scared. I have to say that to you. A lot of people are worried though. But Atiku is in America. Tifnubu sent a lawyer last week. That lawyer to stop that request of Atiku. You know what Atiku was asking for? Atiku is asking a district court in Illinois, in Chicago, to grant them, number one, to start with the University of Chicago, that Tifnubu continue to brandish fake result, fake document, and the rest of them. That he's already committed a perjury. He's perjured himself. Atiku is now asking the courts in America to grant Atiku and his team the full disclosure of who is Tifnubu. Was Tifnubu a girl before he changed her to a boy? Was Tifnubu using somebody else's identity? It was so close. In fact, from part of the information they've managed to dig out of the Chicago University of Chicago, whatever, happened to show that Tifnubu is not just a Guinean, somebody from Guinea citizen with Guinea citizenship. Tifnubu is also an American, but there is a little problem. The Bola Tinubu that is an American, she's a girl. She was a girl. So, Atiku is asking the schools, the court in the US, to grant them the full authority to have the full disclosure and force the university to declare everything that has Tifnubu's name on it. Whether not biro, whether not book, whether not textbook, whether not the assignment, even if not school uniform, if it is jersey, if it is just one small note, anything that has Tifnubu on it must be turned over and be given to Atiku. It was a real big one. When Tifnubu's lawyer got to America, an APC lawyer that he sent last week, he couldn't stop it. But instead of the court to stop Atiku from getting that grant, you know what the court have done? Surprisingly, the court now gave Tifnubu the chance to stop them. They say in America, you can actually get a court order, a very good one, that your file must not be opened. Top secrets. It must not be unclassified. Any name, Tifnubu name, must become classified name as a document in the US. America court is asking Tifnubu to file him for that. So they are now delaying Atiku from getting his full disclosure until the 21st of September. Tifnubu now have between now and the 20th of September to use America court to stop Atiku from exposing him. Number one, I don't know what that would do. Even if they say Tifnubu was a girl, it's not going to be relevant in your corrupt court in Nigeria. Even if they give you all the details of Tifnubu's drug heroin dealing, I don't think it's going to change anything among your courts in Nigeria. But for the full disclosure, for the educational purposes, for our children not to grow up and begin to celebrate a drug or heroin dealer because he's a former president of Nigeria, they say he's a hero. Same way they are telling us today that the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. I don't want my children to grow up and begin to hear about one Tifnubu as a hero, heroin dealer. So that full disclosure is important. Even if it's not going to remove him from your court. If it does, great, fine. I'm just saying. But my children need to know who he is, even more. But Tifnubu has between now and 21st of September to stop Atiku from getting that. and you may never know. That is when people are saying, it be like the American government is interested. Now today you suppose give article waiting you want. Tifnumbu already tried to stop it, he couldn't. Now you are now giving him the chance to go to the federal court and get an injunction that is going to say any Tinubu name, no touch him. If anybody release any document about Tifnumbu in America, they can go to jail for it. That is what they're asking Tifnumbu to do now, in between now and the 28th of September. Baba, come there. Ma, take calls so that I don't take all your times, okay? So I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. But until then, let those who knows that as Nigerians are battling with over 70% inflation, something you can call hyperinflation, due to the planless, visionless, incompetence of these criminals in Nigeria, who actually deliberately want Nigerians to remain poor. Because Nigeria being poor can always keep them in power. I want the world to know that to cushion the effect of 70% inflation in Nigeria, to cushion the effect of over 140 million Nigerians living in poverty, extreme poverty, the government of Nigeria brought about a palliative measure, the palliative that will give them this kind of food, until maybe when the country gets better. I just thought I should leave that in your conscious and subconscious and then a subconscious mind. In that same breath, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory will be driving this latest Lexus 600 2003 SUV, bulletproof SUV, which actually cost 300 million naira. And guess what? It's not just the Minister of FCT, the governor of, the governor of Kogi, and so many of them are very much fanciful of this car, which costs 300 million naira each. And in all, we say, even if not for anything at all, Mokuna, they try follow your own preaching. Let the poor breathe. Please. Pastors, Afas, Mamalawos, Babalawos, spiritualists here and there, all of you where they see vision here and there, we want to let you know something. If you want peace, let the poor breathe. Don't go anywhere. I'm coming back.
Let the poor breathe. Don't suffocate them. We have that responsibility.
Thank you. I already have a caller, by the way, but I think I should come and remind all of us that may I have done my part. Can you please take a moment and like the broadcast? If you haven't dropped your own offering, and after spending that 2 hours, and you are still not angry with me, Baba, you are welcome to that free world. Sure, you know. So take a moment and like the broadcast. We are currently over 3,000 of us on YouTube, and less than 1,000 of us have actually dropped our offering. So please, now wait till me how they ask for with that too. Not your money, just that. TJ, very kind of you. Thanks for that super chat. Here is my caller. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Hello.
Hello, Mayegun.